Hello, and welcome to the Bankers Tech Talk video series, checking the pulse of fintech community. I'm Joy McKnight, Managing Editor of The Banker, and with me is Schuyler Weiss, CEO of Alpian, which is a digital financial services company. Schuyler, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
So my first question is really about your stated aim, which is to provide sort of a new and innovative banking solution for the mass affluent segment. What does that really look like?
So imagine you live in a world where there are two types of cars. You have your first car, the car that you get when you're growing up, and you get a Honda. And it's a great car, it works very well, and it lasts forever. And then everybody on the planet gets that Honda. And they go throughout life and they always keep that Honda. And then one day, a very small slice of the population gets to upgrade their Honda to a Ferrari. And this is effectively what we see in the banking market today, is almost everybody starts with a retail bank, and then throughout the rest of their life, they keep that retail bank. And then there's a very small portion of the market who makes enough money to afford a private bank. And so what we're looking to do at Alpian is introduce the Tesla of banking, which is something where it still has the four wheels of a Honda and a Ferrari. It still has the doors of a Honda Ferrari. It still drives as a car, but it's fundamentally different from what's out there in the market. And this is, at Alpian, what we feel we are offering is we are still offering a bank, but it's a different experience, which is really tailored and catered towards the mass affluent population of Switzerland.
And you've just completed a Series A funding round where you raised about over 12 million Swiss francs. How difficult is it to raise money in this environment? And is there any advice that you could give other fintechs?
Sure. So we were actually very fortunate to close our round of funding before COVID had really hit. This is something that since COVID has become a worldwide pandemic, we've seen that the environment has become a bit more challenging. What I'd say is that when you have a great idea, when you have a great value proposition, you can make a strong case for investors. The environment does create a challenge, and it will make it more difficult. But the companies that put in the work to succeed, they will come out on top, regardless of the environment.
So I understand that you're going through the process of getting a full banking license. How important is that to you for your business model?
At the core of banking lies trust. I mean, this is what every bank is looking to get, and every bank or every company that serves clients is that trust. And what we found is that when we speak to people across Switzerland is that they need to be able to trust their bank or the person that they store their money with in order for them to put substantial sums of money with that entity. And given that we're going after the affluent portion of the market, where we're asking people to put more than 100 franc or 100 pound, we will ask them to put a bit more. We need to demonstrate to them that they can trust us. And so we've gone after a Swiss banking license. We've applied for that to FINMA because we need to establish trust from the very beginning.
And Alpian was incubated by Rail and C. What did you learn from that experience? What were your big takeaways?
Sure. So one of the things that we've been very fortunate to have is the institutional support of RELNC, which is a private bank here in Geneva, Switzerland. As you mentioned, we talked about the fundraising before. One of the things that we benefited from is that institutional support that REL can provide, that network, which really helped us escalate and focus on the core topics of building a bank, whereas REL helped facilitate the raising of funds. In addition, REL has 40 years of banking and wealth management experience, and this is something we've been very fortunate to benefit from as well. We combined at Alpian a core of people who have banking experience, plus a lot of innovation experience, and REL is able to really complement our team with the additional resources we need to really meet the client's expectations.
And so what are your future plans?
So right now, our focus is on a couple of different items. So we've submitted the banking license application, which goes to FINMA. And before we can actually serve any client, we need to get a response from them on when and how we can operate. Once we go live, our plans are really to cater to the Swiss market and market to the Swiss market, to give them a sense of what we can provide in terms of our value proposition. And this is a very difficult thing to do, because what we're trying to do is introduce a new service within the market, not something that's the retail bank, not something that's the private bank, something really new. And so we have to create that product in people's heads. And so this is really what a lot of our core focus is on right now.
Well, thank you so much for your insights, Schuyler.